Morning, good morning, good morning. Just 1 minute here. Everybody count down from 10 and then we'll be good to go. Oh. All right. Think we're good. Good morning. Welcome to Manhood. It is Thursday, March 19th. We're going through Job 4 today. Job 4. Excited to do it. I think it's going to be pretty good. We're also going to fight Placidusax, which will be nice. See how that goes. I have to run all the way back. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. We'll be back here in a minute. We're going to fight him. Okay. All right. We're going through Job 4 today. Job 4 is going to be interesting. After sitting in silence for like 7 days, Job's friends finally start to speak. And at first, it sounds actually pretty helpful. Eliphaz begins, and he reminds Job of his past faithfulness. He appeals to like personal experience and spiritual insight. But underneath it all is like this kind of dangerous assumption that seems helpful on the top level. Seems helpful, but underneath it's like this idea that if you're suffering, you must have done something wrong, right? And so he makes this presumption. It's not super helpful, and it kind of shows us how easy it is to say something that sounds wise, but completely misses the heart of what someone is going through. And so I'm excited to go through it. But before we do that, good morning, Erich von Erich. Welcome. Before we do that, we're going to go through a couple things here real quick. We've got our... I didn't know you could do that with that button. I hotkeyed, and it actually like is connected to an attack. Before we do that, we're going to go through our daily proverb as well as our daily gratitude. Proverb of the day comes from Proverbs 10, starting in verse 4. And it is this: a slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. So, very, very short. These proverbs are super short, but they're good stuff. Reminds us that just wisdom, right? If you're just going to be a loser, you're going to be a loser and you're going to be poor. But if you're diligent, you're going to make good money. Right? So that's good. Then we go through our 3 things we're thankful for. If you're here and you want to join, you're welcome to. I always start my day with thankfulness. And since you guys are here with me for my day, I'm going to just go through that together. Objectively untrue. What is objectively untrue? I don't know what that means. Welcome, Toast on Jelly, though. Hi, welcome. 43. I'm super grateful today for, first off, just the mercies of God. Very, very grateful for that. I get to wake up every day with fresh mercy from Him, and I'm super glad, super grateful. I am super grateful for, I don't know, just like a nice screen. I have to look at computers a lot. So having a nice screen is nice. And then I got this new cup yesterday, and it's like this cool little like water cup that I just like and enjoy. So I'm grateful for that. Now let's kill this guy, and then we'll start reading the chapter. Hold on. Hey, that mixed Native American. Thank you. I'm going to die. We should poison him. Thanks, man. Welcome. Glad you're here. All right. We are... Hold on. Oh, I rolled too early. doing. I don't know what he's doing. Morning, Boba. Good to have you here. All right, let's recap. We'll go through kind of where we've been and where we're going. Hold on. Oh, I'm dying. Okay, so where we started, Job opens up. We've got this guy who is labeled as blameless and upright. He's been a good guy. He takes care of his family. He kind of lives as like a priest interceding for his family. And there is this picture of like the divine council in heaven, right? All of the spiritual beings coming together to give their report to God. And during that time, oh no, I don't remember if I had. Hold on, I'm getting all distracted. During that time, Satan, or the Satan, right? We talked about how that is more of a title than an actual name, but it's utilized as kind of an interchangeable name there. It means adversary. He comes forth to give his report, right? Showing that God, oh my goodness, I can't roll while I'm drinking. Okay, well, that didn't work out. Thought we were going to do okay there. He comes to give his report before God, and they essentially have this conversation where he says, hey, the only reason Job follows you is because you take care of his entire life and make it perfect. And so God says, okay, do what you wish with him, just don't touch him. Satan then goes and essentially in one day tears apart his livelihood, takes away all of his stuff, all of his servants, and essentially just ruins nearly his entire life. So very, very interesting. Welcome, Trenton. Happy you're here. And he also has his kids die, right? House collapses on them, and all of his kids die, and all due to him being a righteous man, right? Yep. His children also. That's right. Welcome. I don't know how to say that, but I think it's Nikoji. Nikoji XP. Welcome, man. Yeah, so he loses kids also, and but through that whole thing, he does not curse God or turn away from him. And then the next chapter, we see a similar thing happen where the divine council meets. Satan comes to give his report. He tells him, hey, of course he still follows you, skin for skin. If you had if you actually harmed his body, he would curse you. So God says, well, you can go and Nico G. Okay, cool. I'll try to remember that. He says, I give you permission. You can't take his life, but you can do what you wish with him. And so we see his wife comes before him, and she's, I would say, rightly upset, even if she doesn't handle it the right way. And she tells him to lose his integrity, curse God. He refuses to do so, even after he's covered in like these sores and boils. And he still refuses to curse God. And then chapter 3, we see they sit with him for 7 days in silence. And then the story shifts to a more poetry, right? It's this kind of historical narrative, and then there's now this poetic discourse happening. And so the last chapter we just got through yesterday, we were reading, and he is lamenting his life, right? He does not curse God, but instead he curses the day that he was born. He curses the day that he was conceived. He says, hey, why did I not die? Why did I just not get made? Why did I not die in my mother's womb? He takes it even further. Why did I not die as soon as I was born? And then he takes it one step further and says, why did I not just die and now? Like, what do I have to lose? What do I have to live for? And so we see this picture of lamenting and, yes, still not cursing God, but struggling deeply, deeply and lamenting over his own life. And so it's been an interesting picture of just this, like, hey, there is grace from God to lament. Elden Lord, welcome. I'm trying to become you someday. There is this place for lamenting, right? That God has grace for people to sit and to just struggle, and that still isn't sinning against God, right? He's struggling with it. Hey, what's up? Rain Dante Brooks. I was a little late this morning. My camera would not work. Mrs. Bull, welcome. I'm happy you're here too. Oh man, Notorious Dig. Cool name. Thanks for following. Okay, let's kill this guy real quick. So that's where we're at. We're hopping in. We're going to see Eliphaz's response today. We did make it to Placidusax. Yes, we're here. We're going to first try this after dying 3 times already. We made it. Well, yeah, it'll be super fast. I'm not even concerned. Watch this. We're going to just poison him, and then we'll walk away. I thought I would die right there. Oh my goodness, man. I can't... You can't have him follow me. Here we go. Can we poison? Oh, he is poisoned. What, is he poisoned? No, he just has a cloud around him. Hold on. We got to run in there. Don't. Okay. Here we go. Good to go. We're good. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Everybody hold on. Oh, man, that's rough. All right, we're good. My guy's not being super helpful. Is he down? Oh, he is down. Well, it's too late. I'm not getting that. Okay, we're good. Roll. I don't think that should have hit me. I feel like that was a bit of a ripoff. Okay. I think we're getting it in one try. I think we're doing it. I mean, we already died a couple times, so this is not first try. Oh, cool. If you haven't, you can see where he's going. My guy's not very good at dodging. Oh my goodness. Okay, that... I rolled way too early there. Here we go. I got a bleed off. You see that? Where is he? There he is. I don't know. Okay, that felt like a ripoff. That felt like a ripoff right there. Because I don't think I actually died. Court, welcome back. I do remember you. I was distracted fighting a dragon real quick, but we're back. Okay, we're going into... Yeah, we'll get it in one more. Not Levi, welcome. Thanks for liking this thing, man. Okay, whoops. Hold on. That was a mistake. All right, we're going to go into the reading. We did our little recap. I'm trying to add components to fill time. Hey, thank you for the heart me, man. I appreciate it. Awesome. Okay. Oh, control is what it is. I don't know what's happening. I don't know how that just transpired. All right. So we got Eliphaz. Says then Eliphaz, the Temanite, answered and said, if one ventures a word with you, will you be impatient? Yet who can keep from speaking? So he's like, I'm sorry, brother. I got to say something. Right? And remember, Job just got done lamenting over everything. This guy is in utter despair and distress. He's very, very sad. He's a sad guy. He's a super sad guy. And I'm going to run back to this thing real quick. And so essentially this is like a... Usually the first person to speak is going to be like the eldest. So the elder of the group. And that's probably what's happening here is Eliphaz is the... Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the eldest and most respected. And so he comes forward and he's like, hey, man, I gotta venture to say something here. And it's interesting to see his progression of kind of how he speaks and interacts and consoles. And you guys let me know if I'm losing connection or something. I gotta... Here, 1 second. Check something. Okay, it seems like we're fine. All right. Roll. Okay, so if one ventures a word with you, will you be impatient? Yet who can keep from speaking? Behold, you have instructed many, and you have strengthened weak hands. So you see how he opens up and he's like, "Hey, you've been a great help to the people around you. You've been a good man, a good person. You've done great things." And so he starts with like this like positive feedback of like encouragement, which is helpful. This is good, right? This portion is a good thing. Okay, hold on. We got to get in here. Gonna be great. Okay. Your words have upheld him who was stumbling, and you have made firm the feeble knees. And then he says, and then he shifts, right? Oh man. It definitely follows you, huh? What is that? Can I get hit by that? I don't know what that... Oh my... I didn't know he did that. That was intense. Oh, I'm missing everything. All right, we're good. We're good. We're going to do it. It's going to be great. Hold on. Where is he flaming at? Oh, all right. I want to get another bleed off. Nope, we're not getting one. Okay. All right, we got to move. We got to move. Hey, what's up? Welcome. All right. Where is he? There he is. I don't think the after hit. Oh, are we losing internet connection? Man, okay. I don't know why that is happening. I'm not sure what's going on there. You guys are going to have to let me know if it's terrible, because if so, we're going to have to figure something else out. We're like hardwired. Oh my goodness, it's going to hit me again. Okay, we survived. We survived. He's just doing it again. Said new. Kednu? How do you say that? Oh my goodness, I didn't even see it. Hey, can you guys hear me and see me okay? I'm getting like mixed. You guys let me know. I think I might have lost most of the people that were in here in a minute. But we'll keep going. Loud and clear. Okay, good. Thanks so much. All right, so we are reading Eliphaz's response to Job in Job chapter 4. So he says, your words have upheld him who was stumbling, but now you have made, and you have made firm feeble knees. But now it has come to you, and you are impatient. It touches you, and you are dismayed. Is not your fear of God your confidence? Okay, so pay attention to kind of what's happening or what he's saying. He's like, hey, first off, you've been a good man. You've helped a lot of people. You've done a lot of good stuff, right? You've been a great help to those around you. But man, it seems like now that and essentially it seems like what he's saying here is like very lightly. He's like, now that God's retribution has landed on you, you come across as impatient, right? We sat here with you for 7 days in silence. We've sat in your misery, but now it seems like you're losing your patience. You're losing your honor in this moment of trial from God, and is not the fear of God your confidence, and the integrity of your ways your hope? Remember, who that was innocent ever perished, right? So hey, listen, who do you know in the past of your life that went through trials like this that didn't do anything wrong? I don't know of anybody. Hey, what's going on, Aniko Rezi? Welcome. I don't know what your comment means, but I welcome you to be here. So essentially, he's using like he's like, hey, there's a truth, right? Like, hey, whatever you reap, you'll sow, right? But he's applying it in this weird disconnected way. And so, ancient wisdom often connected suffering with wrongdoing, right? And we even see that as Jesus comes in. He's like, you know, he goes to the blind, to the child that's blind, and they're like, hey, who sinned, the parents or the child that this child's blind? And he's just like, well, neither. But there's this like consistent ancient wisdom of like retribution theology. It appears throughout even the Proverbs. I think it's true that there is like, hey, God will repay the wicked for what they do, but that doesn't always mean that every element of suffering that we experience and exist within is necessarily bad, right? It's necessarily because we did something wrong. And Eliphaz is trying to be, he's trying to be respectful, but he's also trying to bring about what he considers to be truth in the situation and like realign Job's focus of, hey, you probably deserve this, right? Remember, who that was innocent has ever perished, or where were the upright cut off? As I have seen, those who plow iniquity and sow trouble reap the same. So it's like, hey, dude, you know, I want to be respectful to you, but I'm pretty sure you must have done something evil. Hey, I don't know what that means. I'd love for you to be here, but I'm not sure it's going to be helpful, like spamming that in the chat. I'm not sure what that is. Let's see, can we get anyone to help us? It's kind of early in the morning, probably not. Probably not. Nope, I don't even see anyone showing up. I don't know where they would show up, though. I'm not sure. All right. Okay. As I have seen, those who plow iniquity and sow trouble reap the same. By the breath of God, they perish, and they blast his, and by the blast of his anger, they are consumed. The roar of the lion, the voice of the fierce lion, the teeth of the young lions are broken. The strong lion perishes for lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered. And then he's going to shift. He's going to go into something else. So there's a couple things here. He's definitely tying into like a reap what you sow kind of theology in this of like, hey, all I know is, man, if all I know is that like, hey, righteous people don't get the wrath of God. And so he's lightly saying, you must have done something wrong. Hey, Bull's mom, welcome. I'm happy you're here. You must have done something wrong. Like, and it's like, I know that you've been a good help to those around you. I know that you've been a good man. But now it seems like you're impatient. You're super upset. You're frustrated. And who do you know that has had to pay for anything like this that wasn't doing something evil? I am streaming on Twitch, yeah. We're streaming on Twitch and Kick and YouTube as well. And it's just my name on all of them. Ouch. And he's like, who do you know of that's had these issues that hasn't done something wrong? You know, like this, it seems fairly straightforward to me that you must have done something bad. And I'm trying to be nice to you. You know, like I'm trying to be helpful and make sure that I'm patient, and I'm stuck in his neck. I can't get out. Okay, here we go. Oh man, that reached pretty far. So yeah, trying to be patient with you. I'm trying to be kind. I'm trying to say it softly. But everything that I know of is that you had to have done something wrong, right? Like there's no chance that God's wrath would be on you like this if you hadn't. And oh, here we go. And is God not your hope? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Hold on. Hey, we got some. That was some good damage. That was some good damage. Now we're going to die in one fell swoop because I don't know where he's at. There he is. No, just our friend's going to die. Bull's mom, how are you? Oh my goodness. I'm not a fan of this whole... Okay, we can still hit him once. Alright, we're good. Hold on. We're getting some good damage. I'm doing well. I'm very blessed. Oh, he killed him. I don't know. There he is. Okay. Is this when it turns into laser beams? It is. Okay. I don't even know where to dodge to not get hit by these. Okay, we're good. We're good. We did it. All right, we're going to be all right. Everybody hold on. Oh, no. I rolled way too early. We probably need to heal up. We're going to die. Okay. I think I can do it. I think we're going to be okay. Hold on. Oh, I missed. I don't think that... I'm going to die. Yep, I'm going to die. That's the end. That's the end. What happened? What's happening with my camera today? Like, it literally just adjusted all my, even, like, camera focuses. Hold on. That one's still there and fine. Here you go. Boom. All right. I thought I would get it in one. I did not get it in even close to one, but that'll be okay. All right. So it's interesting that LFS is making this point. Oh, man. Okay. Thanks for saying I'm the best. I appreciate it. LFS is making this point, but what's interesting to me is that he's making this point in the context, and he's like, hey, I know you to be all these good things. You must have done something wrong. So his logic is, like, we must reap what we sow. So my understanding is you must have done something wrong. But in the past, you've been such a good man. Like, so it's like this weird, like, flawed thing of these two things don't totally comport. But all I know is God only brings retribution on those who have sinned. And so he's trying to take this concept that starts out as mostly true, right? Like, we do reap what we sow. That's a very true thing. That's biblical. And he's misapplying it to make sense of the situation and to essentially, like, lightly and softly call out Job, because Job is seemingly rightly in a very, very low state, right? And so he says, now a word was brought to me stealthily. My ear received the whisper of it. Amid thoughts from visions of the night, so it sounds like he's dreaming, when deep sleep falls on men, dread came upon me and trembling, which made my bones shake. A spirit glided past my face. The hair of my flesh stood up. It stood still, and I could not discern its appearance. A form before my eyes. There was silence, and then I heard a voice. So he's using this, like, right, spiritual experiences were seen as very, very credible sources of truth. And so he's taking this thing that happened to him, and he's like, hey, listen, here's what I've seen, right? So this lends credence to what I'm talking about. We're going to try doing this one more time. There's absolutely nobody. There were so many people at Melania. All right, we're going to cancel this so we can call in our guy. We're not going to sit around. I think we can kill this guy pretty easy. Okay. So his form was before my eyes, and he says, there was silence, then I heard a voice. Can mortal man be in the right before God? Can a man be pure before his maker? Even in his servants he puts no trust, and his angels he charges with error. But how much more those who dwell in the houses of clay, whose foundations is the dust, who are crushed. Oh my goodness. I will say it's a little frustrating to be a little bit frustrating to be in a position where we're paying for very good internet. I'm in an area that does not have a ton. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. That does not have a ton of. There we go. Fixed it. It's not like there's a whole bunch of. Good morning, Angeli. Welcome. It's good to have you. I just keep having internet problems, and it's weird to me because like we pay for great internet, and no one's awake right now, so it's not like there's a high amount of traffic on our internet, and so it's slightly frustrating to have it constantly going out. It's not super fun. All right. Hold on. Oh. Ouch. Oh, that was terrible. That was the worst one yet. It's good to see you, Angeli. I'm glad you're here. That's awesome. YouTube is not receiving my stream. Okay, great. Great. All right, we're going to finish this thing out anyway, and we'll just see who can be a part and who can't. I'm not sure how well this is going to come through. Hey, thank you so much for following. What is that? Zemnas? You guys have cool names. Okay, it's up here. Good. It's kind of dark. So even his angels he puts no trust in, he charges with error. How much more those who dwell in the house of clay, whose foundation is the dust, who are crushed like the moth. Between the morning and evening, they are beaten to pieces. They perish forever without anyone regarding it. Is not their tent cord plucked up within them? Do they not die? And that without wisdom. So there's this this moment where, hey, I've had this spiritual experience. Like God came before me. He told me, hey, this is, don't hit me. He came up before me and he's like, hey, like there is no one that can be right with God. So Eliphaz is actually what's very interesting about Eliphaz, and he's one of the few that's like this. He brings information that is actually like mainly true. Did I overshoot? No, I'm good. He's bringing stuff in and he's like, hey, this is true stuff, and he's mostly right. It's applied wrong. And the thing is, we know something like we know something he doesn't, right? We're given this context that he's not given. And so we come in and we see, hey, here's this whole narrative before this thing happens, before this conversation happens. Because the majority of Job is these conversations, this kind of debate among him and his friends, and then God coming in and speaking into his life as well. Thank you. I appreciate your encouragement. Anika Rezi. I can't say your name, but Anika Rezi. But so we've got, this is like the main part of the story. And what's interesting about Eliphaz is he's like, hey, here's what I know of God. And he says most things that are generally true, right? For the most part, what he says is right. And even his spiritual experience, he talks about this, like being coming before him and telling him this generally, like, and it doesn't make it clear to us whether this is a messenger of God or not, or if it's, whatever, if he's being deceived. It doesn't make it totally clear. But he says, can a mortal man be right before God? The thing about what is told to him is that it's true, right? Like we know now we cannot be right before God in and of our own accord. That's why Jesus Christ had to come. He had to make us right before him. So Jesus comes, makes us right. And so we agree with Eliphaz. We agree with Eliphaz that, hey, this is like, I don't see people being cursed that are right before God. And it seems like you're being cursed. The thing is, it's misplaced. What is that? Uluv Mali? What's your question? Yeah. I welcome it. I rolled too early. Roll. Hold on. Oh my goodness. We gotta get a couple more hits in before we... All right. Thank you. You did it. Oh, that's a good question. The question is, with all the suffering in the world, people dying of cancer, murder, suffering, how can one still believe? Yeah, I think, and we've, I think one of the things that's important to, I probably didn't need to heal actually. Just give me 1 second. I'm slightly distracted. I do want to answer your question, but I need to roll real quick, and then I'll start answering it so I don't die. I think that's a different question. There's one question of how do we still believe, and then there's another question of how can we still heal. Which there's a chance those need to be answered slightly separately. I think one of the things to realize is the. No, you're good. You're good. I think this is going to kill me. Okay. That was a big explosion. Oh, it's believe. Okay. Yeah, so one of the things to realize about and this is the Christian faith versus others, right? So I'm a Christian. And the other faiths seem like they're similar, but Christianity is pretty different by some magnitude. And a big part of that is the concept that God created us to take dominion and rule over the earth, right? That was what we were created to do. I am going to die. Yeah, conflicted. Yeah, and I think it's fair. But he created mankind to be ambassadors to the earth. So essentially, the angelic beings are the spiritual version of what we are, right? So we're supposed to rule over the earth, subdue it, take care of it, multiply, populate, and essentially be God's ambassadors here on earth and tend to it. Now we destroyed that, right, by sinning. We tore that apart. We said, "Hey, God, we don't want you. We want to be gods ourselves," right? This is where the tree of the knowledge of good and evil comes into play, where it's like, hey, God literally tells the people, it's like, hey, just trust in me, trust in my truth, trust in my knowledge. I will tell you good from evil. I will tell you when you should do something and when you should not do something, right? I will take care of this for you. Don't eat of that tree, right? The day of you eat of it, you're going to die. I believe that's a spiritual death, right? You have abandoned God's way of living, because God said, I want you to just stay in this garden. I want you to be taken care of. I want you to be fruitful, multiply together. But just don't, hey, Train, welcome, man. But just don't take of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And the kind of symbolism there, and I'm not saying the story is necessarily symbolic. I believe both can be true at the same time. But what he's saying there is, don't take for yourself, Vibe, thank you. Appreciate you following. Don't take for yourself the knowledge of good and evil. Don't let yourself define what good and evil is, right? You take of this tree, and all of a sudden you're taking on the authority and the role of God. God wanted to be in direct connection with us and to rightly tell us what we should and should not do. And it's like, don't eat of that tree. Here's this choice, right? True love is choice. I love you. Here is this choice. If you want to take the knowledge of good and evil for yourself, if you want to take, hey, I'm choosing what's good and bad. I'm now God. You eat of this tree. And when you do, you're going to die. We're going to curse the earth. And we did that. And I think all of us can understand and take in the realization that all of us partook in the eating of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil just by the way that we live our lives. We get that we are sinful, right? We continue to deny and reject God. We choose for ourselves what is good and what is bad. Hey, I can't handle this. It's even what we're talking about now, right? How can all this bad, this what I define as bad, happen? And we're reading Job right now. Job is the story of this guy losing everything because he's righteous, right? That's super hard to track with and hold on to, is like, hey, this dude did so well. He was so blameless and upright that he lost everything. That's a really, really hard thing to compute in our mind. But what it takes is a different understanding of A, who we are, and B, who God is, right? We are not God. and we are not the creator. But what I think the difference there, and I think when you talk about, hey, how with all this killing, with things like cancer, with all this other stuff going on, how can we still stay faithful in our life? What is happening with like cameras and everything? There's like some active stuff going on to stop us from this all working out, because I can't get anything to work today. But if you guys can still hear me, that's great. So essentially what I'm saying here is like the things that you're talking about, the tragedies that you're discussing are really our role on this earth. We've taken what's good and what's evil into our own hands, and we've broken it, right? Like we've taken it and gone off the rails with it. And even things like cancer, there's an argument to be made. Cancer's our fault, right? And whether that's us or whether that's like, I don't know, like random other people in power, like we have all these things. We have all these things that we've established, that we've set in place, that we've kind of destroyed, and people killing each other. It's like, hey, we have authority on this earth, man. Like that could be hard to track with, but like, you could go out tomorrow and kill somebody, right? Like we've been given authority on this planet to control it, to hold it, to like carry it forward. And a part of that is, the problem is we took the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So we took for ourselves whether or not what we were going to consider evil, what we were going to consider good. And now we are no longer under this like immense protection from God, and God allows for us to interact with one another. And that's a hard thing to get on board with, but the reality is God is the one that is righteous, right? And what he's done is he said, hey, you've destroyed all this stuff. You've ruined all of this this world, but in spite of all that, while you're still sinners, while you're still actively rejecting me, I'm going to send my son to redeem you and provide a pathway back to myself for you. And at one day he's going to wipe all the tears from our eyes. He's going to make everything whole again. But a part of his story of glory is this world existing broken. Right? He's going to allow us to continue to carry the mantle of this world. And like that's, and he's going to allow us to do what we want with it. And a part of that is his redemptive story, right? That's where, like, as Christians, as people with the Spirit of God inside of us, we're given a different role. We now go out and we're taking authority for the kingdom of God to bring that back. And that's why we're going out into the world and proclaiming to everyone the good news of Jesus, to restore this thing back, to bring us back to this initial story of perfection, which is the garden, right? And that's where we are headed back toward. But it is hard. It's tough, because it's like, man, we want God to stop all evil, but when God stops all evil, we're dead. Like, we're a part of the thing that stops. We're done. Because you and I have both done things that deserve death. And that's actually super encouraging, right? That there is still a pathway for all of those who are, hold on. There's still a pathway for us. Even the worst of sinners like myself, I couldn't tell what he was doing. I still have a way back to him. And that's beautiful, and it's wonderful, and I'm grateful for it. Okay. That's such a big explosion. It's nuts. I like how the mimic tier just sits in it. Oh, man, I didn't know that was what was coming. I'm dead. I can't do it. Can't get out. I can't get out. All right. Okay, we'll go back. We'll finish up the story of Eliphaz real quick. And hopefully that was helpful. I don't know, man, if it was, but it's something that I wrestle with too. But the more that I live, the more that I realize, man, God isn't the actual problem. We are, you know. God has been so gracious and good, and he is too gracious. And we want him to be, right? I mean, like, the main argument that people have against Christianity is that it's like, well, you know, he sent the Israelites to go and wipe out entire nations. And it's like, okay, well, which do we want? Like, do you want the nation that's like actively burning their children alive, sacrificing them to like this like fire god, and just actively killing people and doing horrible, horrible atrocities? Or do you want mercy for them? Or do you want justice, right? And we're struggling through that, right? Because it's like, man, if we want true justice, all of us are done, right? All of us are going to be dead, right? We're all going to be done. But it's like, hey, if we want partial justice, where are we happy? Because there's no end to it, right? Like he went and exercised this, and we hold that against him, and then we also hold against him that he hasn't stopped all the evil in the world. And so it's like this weird like duality that we have as people. And again, I think a lot of this comes from our own understanding, right? This is what's like so impressive to see out of Job, is Job is experiencing these things, and it is just the pit of despair. He doesn't even want to be alive. And when his wife comes to him and is like, hey, do you still hold to your integrity? Like, curse God and die. And he's like, listen, am I not to take, like, God's given me all this good, am I not to take what evil he wants me to take as well? And so he still is just like refusing to take this thing. It's like, no, God is good. If whatever he wants to do to me, he can. I haven't deserved anything that he's given me. And I feel like truly in this place, right? My life is so far beyond what I deserve it to be. I do not deserve the life that I have. And it's only by God's mercy that it is. Yes, I agree with you, Garrett. I think we do want justice, and this is the beauty of the gospel, right? The beauty of the gospel is the perfect combination of mercy and justice, right? Because we want justice for those who have done evil. We don't want it for ourselves. We want mercy, right? We so desire mercy, and the reality of the story of Christ is that Christ came and brought justice to the world, and he brought justice by taking our sin and dying. Right? This is where it's like a key proponent of the gospel is the reality that he died for your sin, right? You deserve death, and he took your place and died for it. He was a perfect sacrifice for you. And that's where the mercy comes in, right? Because he is taking that for you. So it's this thing of, it's like, no one's getting away with anything. There is not a single person that's getting out free with just, quote unquote, forgiveness with no payment for it. Oh my goodness. That back-to-back thing always kills me every time. And so that's important to remember, right? Like, this is the combination of God's justice, his mercy, and this answers the question that was asked as well, which is, like, God is just. He is going to bring justice to all people, even if it's at the end of life. He will bring justice. He will restore balance. Like, he's going to bring those to task for what they've done. And that's hopeful. That's good. That's not a bad thing. Because he's provided this pathway of free mercy for everyone. And it's huge and it's beautiful. Okay. So the interesting thing about what we get to see in Job, and I'll kind of end here because we got like 3 minutes left. But what we're seeing here in Job is interesting because we got like a beard hair in my mouth. Sorry. We all reap the seeds we sow, even with God's forgiveness. I think that's true. TTFR, I don't know what that stands for, but thanks for following. I think that's true. Bull's mom brings wisdom into our chat every time, which I appreciate. Okay, so what's interesting about the story that I think that we get to experience is the fact that we get to have background knowledge of what's actually happening, so that we see we see that, like, hey, we know that what Eliphaz is saying is wrong, right? Like, Eliphaz is not correct, and even though he's bringing this information with like grace, and he's doing his best to be respectful, but also to call out his friend, which is admirable, right? Too many of us are fearful to even like bring up what we see in somebody because we're too afraid of how they're going to respond. And to Eliphaz's credit, he brings this up. He brings up like spiritual experiences he's had before, his background, all this stuff. But we know, and this is what's interesting that creates this tension, is you and I know he's wrong. We have the narrative background to understand that, no, this is his righteousness that's bringing this about, because God is flat out allowing the enemy, the adversary, to test him, to bring this about on him, to showcase his faithfulness to God. And it's reflective of a lot of the patriarchs. You look at Abraham being told to go and sacrifice Isaac. There are quite a few stories where like these guys are called to do like pretty intense things for the sake of proving their faithfulness to God. And that's happening here. So we know Eliphaz is wrong about his outcome of like saying, hey, you must have done something wrong, and I want to say it with kindness and respect. We know he's incorrect. And that causes this tension in us, right? But Eliphaz is actually bringing it to the best of his ability as graciously as he can. And like the life application here, and this is what is like, I think, massively important is we've got life application of, hey, good theology, right? Eliphaz has generally good theology. Theology is like the understanding of God, right? He's got this idea that is true. Those who have done wrong will reap what they sow, right? And he is totally misapplying it. And this is important for us to remember. We can know truth and have a completely misapplied understanding of what it means, right? We can know Bible verses and completely misunderstand what the actual root of what they're saying is. And that seemingly is what we're seeing here with Eliphaz. It's like this guy is a man of wisdom, right? He knows, he absolutely knows, like, oh my goodness. Okay, you can roll right through it. Okay, that's cool. Not if you keep swinging your sword, though. Eliphaz is a man of wisdom. He knows God's word, like, right? He knows what he said, and it's very different. He didn't have the extent of what we have for God's word, but he knows God's character, and he knows that yes, God does take care of those whom He loves. He does take care of them. He's not going to hold it against someone else. So he's not wrong. This is what's so interesting is he's actually correct. It's like, no, God doesn't, but God is allowing the enemy to come and prove Job's faithfulness. I'm going to die. Prove Job's faithfulness through this trial. And so his consoling him isn't actually isn't actually helpful because he's actually wrong, right? And we know that way out here in the future, something that he didn't have the grace to know. We're gonna poison him again. Let's do it. Oh, I can't do it. I can't get out. Can't get out. All right. Other key thing here, which this has been consistent throughout our conversations, but not all suffering is punishment. That's super important. And like I'm going to say that pretty much every single chapter. Not all suffering we go through is punishment. And the reality is we live in an experience in a world that God has created, regardless of how we feel about it. The reality of our existence. I'm going to die. Nope, he's going to die. The reality of our experience is that we live in a creation God has made. Hey, Draco, thank you for liking the live. God has literally created for us to suffer to some degree, right? You look at even like the concept of working out. We only progress if we suffer. We only progress if we hurt, if we are... Oh, my goodness. I'm going to die. There's no way we're winning this round. Nope. Okay, whenever he does the fire after the swipe, this is where I always lose it. I totally lost my train of thought. You should not panic roll. Oh, thou shalt not panic roll. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a good reminder. One of the 10 Elden commandments, I guess. Okay, I don't know what's happening there. Could someone explain to me how I'm still getting hit? Because I feel like I rolled pretty well. That doesn't make sense to me. All right, the other thing that I would say is like a huge key call out here is when someone is struggling with something deep, right? When someone's actually going through something like extremely problematic, there's a case to be made that listening and like silence is better than trying to give your help. I'm gonna die. There's no way. Oh, that felt. Run. See that every time. First try. I don't think I'm going to do it. Got to head into work early. Today is my 90-day review. Nice, dude. I'll be praying it goes well. Have a great one. 90-day review. I got to head into work at some point soon as well. Well, you're about to see me do it first try after I've died 30 times. That felt like a ripoff. It just keeps doing it over and over again. Where is he? There he is. Okay. Okay, well. I don't know where to stand. I don't know where to stand. Okay. All right, we're good. Watch this. Oh, no. No. Where is he? No. I rolled way too early. Way too early. That's okay, Joseph. You'll get there. The key is you just keep going in there and doing it over and over again, and then you get better at it. Oh yeah, so sorry. I was talking about like being careful to give advice in pain. Like there are times where just like the ministry of presence is so much more important than actually like giving your insight. Right? We can't always provide insight to people. We don't actually know what's going on. And like Job is such a good story for understanding that like while we can have the best like understanding of who God is or the Bible in the world, there are just times where things are not going to have a good answer, and that's okay. And it's not about me having the right things to say, because me taking my own mind into a situation and giving someone really solid feedback isn't always helpful, right? Like it doesn't always benefit everybody, and sometimes it's just being there, being like, yeah, I don't know either, and this is horrible, and I'm sorry, and like I'm here for you. Is better than, hey, I think I know why this is happening to you and what you should do to solve it. Also, the understanding that, hey, maybe you may not have as much insight and wisdom and understanding of God as the person you're interacting with, right? It labels Job as blameless and upright, and his friend Eliphaz is trying to be helpful, but it may be that you don't actually, like, if we don't think rightly of ourselves, right? It's like, do not think more highly of yourself than you ought, but humble yourself. And I can't remember what the actual end of that verse is. But we can often get in the idea that like we have good insight, we have good things to add, we have good things to say, and I'm always now trying to pressure myself to like be in the understanding that the person I'm staring at is likely to be more sound than I am, right? Have more wisdom than I have, and just presuming that rather than presuming that I have something to add to their life. And if the Spirit wants to speak, right, we let the Spirit speak. If he brings something for you to say it, right? He'll give us words to say. But there is this concept of like we can cause harm by trying to speak too rashly. And that's kind of what we see with Eliphaz. It's like, hey, he's trying to be helpful. He's trying to do this good stuff. But he is misapplying his understanding of the word. And only we know that as readers, right? Job doesn't even know that. And he's about to respond to him. Joseph says, I judge myself based on my results. Nice. Not based on what I think of myself. Cool, dude. That's awesome. It's great. All right. I think I'm going to have to hop off. I got to go to work. But I appreciate you guys being here. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at Job chapter 5. And I believe that's Job's response to Eliphaz. So that'll be interesting to see as well. These chapters are way shorter than the chapters in Luke that we just got done reading, which is both a positive and a negative depending on how much is there to really kind of dig into. But we'll do this one more time. And, yeah, we'll go from there. I appreciate y'all being here. If this has been helpful for you, I would appreciate you following. We're streaming on, like, quite a few platforms. So we're on YouTube, Twitch, Kick. So wherever you want to find us is great. But I'm glad you guys have been here. Josh, thank you for following, man. I appreciate it. We got it. Let's proc some poison and get him dead. Okay, cool. Cool. Don't kill me. You have a great day too, Bull's mom. I appreciate you being here. It blesses me to see you and your family show up. Really do. Peace, Erich von Erich. Oh no. Okay, oh, that's all right. Oh, no. Okay, I'm going to die. I'm dead. That didn't work. All right, we're going to try again tomorrow. We'll just be fighting Placidusax for the next 5 or 6 chapters every day. So we're here at 7:30 a.m. Eastern. That's 6:30 Central and 5:30 my time. And we go for about an hour. So we'll go through Job 5 tomorrow. I would love for anyone who wants to join, and we'll go from there. In the meantime, you guys keep Christ the center focus of your life. Stay in step